It's Steve and Grayson this morning on In the Community, and we've got some special guests and a lot of ground to cover today. So let's bring them right in, Grayson. We've got Margarida. I'm going to screw up your name, Margarida, but you're going to help me. It's Margarida Figueroa.
It's close, so you got a 9.5. But
Okay.
it's Margarida Figueroa.
Oh, that's easy for you to say.
Yeah, right? Right. But it's
beautiful.
Margarida Figueroa. You can say it just like that.
Figueroa, perfect.
Yes,
And you're from
beautiful.
Portugal. We were just talking about Portugal behind the scenes.
Well, my mother and my father, one is from Portugal, the other one's from Puerto Rico. But yes, I have both of that and mixed right inside this little body.
And you're with the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Department, and we've got a lot of ground to cover with you. And we also have Heather in here. And Heather, you are the social media manager.
Yes.
All right. So
Good
let's
morning.
jump right in. And what do you want? You want to start with the scams that are very top of mind right now?
Well, first, primarily, I want to just let you know I'm so grateful that Sheriff Harris allows me to come out to talk to the community regarding this. My position is the Community Relations and Crime Prevention Deputy, okay? My thing is to just look at the target points and try to, like let's talk about it so everybody knows what it is so they're prepared for it. But we have tons of scams that are going on inside the Spotsylvania County area, and thankfully that Heather, she posts all the information and lets people know what's going on. So it's a great team that we have up in our administration area.
What is one of the more common scams right now?
So the account takeover, that's when the first like couple minutes that you're talking to somebody and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing with my computer. And next you know, you get up in there, they allow you, the third person gets on there, and then they will take over your entire computer. The biggest thing I'm going to reference that is, have you seen The Beekeeper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes of that movie is what it's like. It's that quick. It's that quick.
That's on Netflix right now, right?
It is. It is. Not that I'm part of Beekeeper, but I just saw that and I was like, wow, if I can take those 5 minutes out and just show that to everybody, I would.
It's Jason Statham.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. So we've got that. We've got one biggest thing that AARP talks about is when you're on the phone with these scammers that call, they want to be like, people, our regular citizens want to have a conversation. Why are you calling me? What are you doing this? So they will do a voice recorder. It's called the voice answering. It generates your voice to then go out to answer any other questions, which puts you in a scam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how can you, over the phone, know whether it's a scam or not? Like, are there little markers? Is there any kind of sounds or anything that kind of give it away?
You know what? I wish it did, but the only thing you're going to hear or know, the first thing is that number is not familiar to you.
Right.
So don't answer it or don't play games with them. Or if you see something that you don't know what it is, just call law enforcement or call my office.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to answer any questions on my email. Just let me know, hey, I got this kind of funky thing. If it's really something that serious, you would know about it. If it's something to do with your bank, if it's got something to do with your children, you're going to know immediate.
Right.
So,
And when we hear about scams, it seems like they do tend to have a great deal of success with seniors, with a little bit older, right? And you go, how are people still falling for a scam here and there? But they are so efficient and so convincing.
that's right.
They are.
And they seem to modify their pitches all the time. They
They're
find it the minute everybody gets on to something, oh yeah, this is a scam.
That's right.
All of a sudden there's a new one rolled out.
That is so true. We've got also the sweepstakes scam. Okay, so you won this trip to go to the Bahamas or whatever the case may be, but you have to pay the taxes. So let's prepay these taxes so you can go without any problem, and that's all there's to it. And you're like, I won. We are such a working generation that all we do is work, and we want to have a good time, a vacation time and stuff like that, but then you have this going on. So that's why we have Triad. Triad is a joint effort with Stafford, Fredericksburg, and Spotsylvania to reduce the fear of crime with our seniors. So what we do is we get together and we talk about what the Attorney General wants us to do, and then we try to key point those things. So the next couple months and the next year to come, you're going to see an expo that's going to happen in Spotsylvania County so that we can bring all these people into one place so our seniors are aware. Because grandparent scams are up there. What else is up there?
There's impersonating law enforcement that's been going around a lot.
Yes.
What are
I've
the
been seeing on social media and the repercussions.
Yeah, like do people get caught? Can you call and tell law enforcement, or is it just kind of just be aware of your surroundings, know who you're talking to, check the numbers?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, absolutely.
Yes, because a lot of them are, someone's calling and they'll claim that they are Sergeant Walker with the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office.
Right.
And when people hear Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office, they're like, okay, yeah, they're nervous, they're intimidated, and they're like, this must be real because it's the Sheriff's Office calling.
Right.
and they're telling others that you have a warrant out for your arrest. You need to pay, this much. Or else you'll be arrested. Well, that intimidates a lot of people.
Yeah.
And law enforcement, they will never call you if you miss jury duty, if you have a warrant, if you haven't paid your fines, they will never call you for that. So if you are unsure if this is a scam or not, hang up and just call the sheriff's office. Sadly, here lately, we've been noticing a lot of seniors and just a lot of people in general falling victim to the people impersonating law enforcement, and it's sad. So we've been trying to push that out there on social media, just to let people know that this is a scam. Law enforcement would never do this, and if you are unsure, hang up and call the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
They work the fear angle so well, and it's like the IRS scams, right? They always say we're never going to call you and ask you, but when the minute you hear it's the IRS or it's Deputy so and so, and I'm calling from Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office, you're like, oh gosh, I got to make this go away. I did something wrong.
Absolutely, yes.
And you get paranoid, and and that's where they fall prey.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you say that in about the IRS, and you say that you're exactly right, Heather. So Sheriff Harris loves his community. He's so about community and uniting us all together. However, he's not going to call you. He's not going to call you. No. He's not going to call you and be like, hey, you owe me for this ticket, or you need to do this or that. If you can see we have different identities with the courts and we have the sheriff's office. So we're not going to correspond like that. Guess what? We're going to come to your house and we're going to knock on your door and say, you have a warrant for your arrest. That's what's going to happen. Or, you're going to get some kind of paperwork or some kind of something saying you have to be in jury duty. So, but we are not coming to do that. To
we are not going to call you asking for money. And a lot of it too is, we're not going to ask you for gift cards and what is the other.
Can you imagine? That's
exactly.
Wild.
It is.
But they can trick you. It can catch you off guard. So
They're
you
so
can't,
good.
Yes.
They're so good.
They are.
We have something called arrest blotters, and every county has something different, but grandparent scams. I've had many grandparents call me and say they've lost $30,000, $50,000 paying some stuff. Some of these scam artists are so good that they will have somebody drive to your house and pick up that fund.
Yes.
That payment.
In person?
In person.
Yes.
So please be careful with that. I got something to say. Lock your doors. Steve, I forgot to say that. A lot of these folks do not. I know I just jumped to that, but it was on my mind about locking your doors. So many people still don't lock your doors. It's not to say that Spotsylvania County is not still one of the safest counties out there. However, you need to lock your doors. Folks will not lock their doors, or if they do lock their doors, they'll leave their iPad, their purses, their
valuable items,
and guns. They'll leave their guns right outside, right inside their vehicle. I had one person said, I locked my doors, but left the sunroof open, and somebody was able to go in through there.
My.
So please understand that there are folks that want to come up to this county, and they want to do damage.
And we are in an area that is exploding at a high rate, right? All you have to do is look at all the new construction through Spotsylvania County and go, okay, or we've got so much, and hey, it's great. It's great that all this great stuff is coming here. But with an increase in population and an ever-changing picture like that, this becomes more and more important. It's not like you're living way out in the country, 50 miles from the nearest neighbor, and you can leave your door unlocked.
That's right. You are absolutely correct. It's unfortunate, but we need to come up to where the times are and what's going on right now. So it's best that we do that. So every third Tuesday of the month, we have something called Neighborhood Watch at the mall. And at the mall at 6 p.m., I make sure that either I have street crimes out there, which are the folks that we don't know what they look like in the county, but we have street crimes. We have the narcotic unit that is out there. They will be special visitors, and they will tell you what they're seeing, how they're seeing it, and stuff like that. But it's knowledge it's resources for our community, so they are aware of it. And by the way, we have something huge coming up, which is National Night Out, August 6th.
That sounds fun.
Gosh, what's that?
Yes. So National Night Out is and it enhances the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement while bringing back a true sense of community. It is Tuesday, August 6th at the Spotsylvania Town Center. It's just when vendors and bunch of vendors and people from the community come together, and we all from the sheriff's office will be there, and we just have a good time, build relationships. Yes, there's food, there's games, just lots of fun. Just bring everyone together and and just catch up, talk, and
so nice.
it's a lot of fun.
And I think that's really important because when you bring up the word community and when we talk about the sheriff's office, I mean, this is a community. It's a weird mind game for me because if I'm at a stoplight or a stop sign, the last person I want behind me is like a Spotsylvania sheriff's car.
Right.
Because I'm
Right.
I'm paying extra attention. Did I come to a complete stop? Am I going to get pulled for something? But the reality is, I didn't, by the way. but when it comes down to when you need help, when you need someone, that's your first call. Then that vehicle is the first vehicle you want to see. And I've met so many deputies through the years in the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Department, and it really is. It's a sense of community, especially with what Sheriff Harris does and with the whole department.
That's right.
Absolutely.
He has this, like, I guess I would say like a tree, right? And he's got all these commanders that are up top. They're listening to everything. They're instilling everything to their second in command and so on. And it just makes everything, the resources available. Each deputy is aware of things that if they don't know or have the answer for something, they're going to let you know. So there's certain people in certain sections and in certain positions that we have doing things that you have no idea. Like I said, we have warrants division, we have criminal investigations, we have our administration division, and then our meat, which is the patrol. I don't know if I should say meat, but our meat and bones is our backbone, the patrol division. The patrol division's out there, and it's from morning till morning. I mean, they're constantly going and there's constant things. But during National Night Out, which is August 6th, between the hours of 5 and 8 at the mall, inside the substation, we have something in there called the substation. And in there, we're going to have Narcan training, which any civilian can have. So it's just a 5 to 10, 15-minute training
maybe
class
not even
for
quite
civilians.
that. Yeah, really quick.
And what they do is they'll teach you what Narcan is, what it does for you in the event that you are having an overdose and how you can help a loved one. Now, the overdoses do not only happen with our young community, our senior community does it as well. So, unfortunately, they'll take their medication at 9, forget they took it, and they'll take it again and
Accidental.
Accidental. That's right.
There's an interesting wrinkle that I never thought of. I mean, you just associate Narcan with a drug overdose, right?
Right.
That's what we hear in the news every day.
Correct.
But I never thought about prescription medications
That's right.
and seniors.
That's right. So that's important. Why, if you could take this free class, why not do it? We also have something called Hidden in Plain Sight. That is for 18 and above, for caregivers, guardians, and parents. So the obvious drugs that you may think you see out there in the community, your own children might be bringing that in your house and you have no clue. We've had some other events and incidents that happened in not in the sheriff's office, in Spotsylvania County, that the parent had no idea that their child was involved in some kind of trafficking or some kind of drug partake with, like, either selling it or doing it. Wow. But we will put things in that room so that you can notify what exactly is what. You can identify it all on your own.
And that's hidden in plain sight. That's
in plain sight. And we have RACSB that helps us. The Rappahannock Area Community Board, they help us. They back everything up with that as well. And child ID kits. I forgot to say that. Child ID kits. They're not state ID kits, but it's for the parents that are in the community that can get a free ID kit. It's hard like a credit card, and your child's print would be on there, and it's yours in the event, God forbid, something were to happen.
Beautiful. And it's just thumbprint. Does it have picture or anything, or mainly thumbprint?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So it has their picture on it, their thumbprint. It has their name, weight, height.
Nice.
The description of the child, if God forbid, something
and that's
were to
good
happen.
because you have these pictures of your kids, but they're smiling, they're being cute. You don't know, how they're going to be if something were to happen. So having a picture that is solely meant to identifying them, and everything else on there is perfect.
Yes. Yes, makes
Those
things a lot
valuable
easier.
minutes are so important when you call sorry, Heather, when you call the sheriff's office and you're like, hey, my son or daughter is missing, I don't know where they are. Having that ID kit is valuable for our dispatchers and law enforcement, so we can go forth.
Absolutely.
We were talking before on the show, I don't remember what week it was, Grayson, about those things you can do with your kids along the lines of what we're talking about. For example, you go to a theme park, right? There's certain habits that aren't a bad idea to get in
the matching shirt, or the knowing what their outfits are.
Right,
that one's a big one.
Taking note and having a description of them. Taking a selfie with them when you walk into the park. So
That's
for
a good
any
idea.
reason,
I love that.
You guys
I'm going to mark that down. Write that down.
Right.
That's a good idea.
I heard that if you don't, so when you go into one of those theme parks, you look at what they're wearing. So rather than saying, "Oh my gosh, I lost my kid," or "My kid's missing," you just start shouting out "blue shirt, red pants," and identify them, because no one's going to know. Oh, like my son's Bennett, and no one's going to be then I know what he looks like.
Right.
If I start yelling what he's wearing, people are more likely to be able to find him.
That's a
in the
great
crowd.
idea.
Isn't that good?
You see how I love talking to people because I didn't even think about that, but that's what it's all about, community engagement. And now I'm going to put that in my toolbox. So I'm sorry, Grace, I'm taking that.
We'll take you guys credit.
I am taking that in my
anything
toolbox.
to keep people safe and keep their kids safe. Yes.
And when something goes south, that's when panic sets in, right?
Yeah.
That's when they say, well, can you describe her or him, or do you have a picture? And you're fumbling in your phone trying to go back to a shot that shows their face. And if you took a selfie with her or him as you walk into a big venue,
that is a great idea.
That's the last picture on your photo roll.
Yep.
Exactly. This is what he or she looks like, and
Today, this is what they look
we
like
just
today.
took a picture.
Exactly. I
Yes.
love that.
Isn't that
Oh
good?
my
That's
gosh.
a good.
So A+. Yes, that's just. I love that. I love that. I didn't talk so much about. I talked about the grandparent scheme or scam. That's one thing. Heather does this weekly. She does an arrest blotter. So let's say Joe Schmuckatelli gets arrested on Thursday. His information will be up on there on Friday. So being Rappahannock Regional Jail, it's public. So you can see who's getting arrested, who's not. So when you've got those scammers that are out there doing their homework on, let's see, DWIs. So the scammers gets on there and they're like, oh, Joe Schmuckatelli got arrested. You look that up online. Joe Schmuckatelli lives here. And it usually has a phone number with it. So that's how the grandparent scheme happened. And it usually says in parentheses your age on there. So they're like, Joe, hey, hi, George. Joe Schmuckatelli is here in our custody, and we need money for this. Can you send money out so that we can let him out if you want him early? What are you going to do?
Oh my God.
I see how people get suckered in on these scams.
A lot of parents, a lot of grandparents.
But the police department would never ever call you to get that kind of bail money or something over the phone.
No, ma'am. That's why you have bonds guys and stuff. And I don't know what they say to you. So we're not gonna deal with it directly.
Yeah.
And the answer here may be, call me, Margarida, but is there a destination to point people to? Are there tips and information available on a website?
I love it. You guys are fantastic. so the Crime Solvers, we also have something called Crime Solvers that I'm so happy to be sitting on that table there. And Crime Solvers is a P3 anonymous tip line. You can call it in, don't give them your name, or you can go online, or you can do it via phone. And the P3 tip will let you know that, hey, this is what's going on, and then you can put all that information in there, and then I will get the information. And your number now, your name will be 1234. That's just a general number throughout there. And 1234, that's how we will correspond with each other. So if you think or suspect there's a drug dealer next door, don't go over there and take a picture yourself. Right. Get online, put that information in there, and then, I will do what I have to do internally. But, oh my gosh, you guys are so good. You're so good. You're so good. You know what? I want to mention recruiting.
Ooh,
recruiting. So law enforcement and every job out there is suffering, but the sheriff's office is always hiring. There's a $10,000 sinus bonus for Virginia DCJS certified law enforcement and an additional 80 hours of leave. So I read that because I wasn't going to remember that. But there's so much information. Starting salary. I can give you my QR code so you can post that if you don't mind. Also, dispatchers. We are hiring dispatchers as well. There is a $5,500 incentive for certified folks, but the sheriff's office is growing just like the county is growing. So we just want to make sure that we can keep the roads or the streets safe, however you want to say this, and just continuously make a difference. And I want to actually backtrack and go over some of those incentives. I guess we're going to call them incentives, right? To pursue a career. That's right. With Spotsylvania Sheriff's Department. I mean, let's go over those again, because we're at that time of year. We have people that have just graduated. They're trying to figure their world out. And this may be something to legitimately really explore. That's right. That's right. I've seen dispatchers, and that's where you have the $5,500 incentive for certified folks. And if you are 18 and over, you can become a dispatcher in the sheriff's office. There's salary experience, career development, night shift differential, medical package, paid vacation, personal time sick, VRS retirement, which I absolutely love, foreign language compensation, college degree, and tuition reimbursement. So you guys can understand, we don't work straight, every day, it's 3 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 4 days off. And that's just numbers I'm throwing out there because I'm not going to let everybody know what we do out there. But that information is out there so you know that you'll have a life. It's pretty much, it breaks down for every month you work 15 days out of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at that as a deputy, there's higher salary, starting with VA certified. If you're DCJS already, career development, medical, paid vacation, sick leave, VRS, foreign language, college degree, tuition reimbursement. You take a car home, and the tattoo policy has changed drastically. That's why I'm not wearing long sleeves anymore. So
that's so good.
When I heard that, when I got that, I remember that day I was like, I need short sleeves.
Did you have tattoos prior to, and then when you got hired, you had to cover it all up? And my goodness!
But the thing is, I was in the Marine Corps. When you're in the field all the time, you always wear long sleeves, so it doesn't matter. When you're working, I'd rather wear long sleeves if I'm on patrol, just because of what you get involved in. So, but there's so many things going on. I know some folks don't follow the Spotsylvania Facebook page.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, I don't get on computers, but we have Nextdoor as well, so you can use Nextdoor and it has all this information.
That's got to hurt, Heather, right? I mean, you're the social media manager. Here, not everybody follow.
Everybody go follow.
Yeah. The other day, it was raining, kind of gray, and I saw the big thing said, hey, wipers on, headlights on, it's the law.
Yes.
I find those things very interesting, and there's a lot of great, valuable information to mine on your Facebook page.
Absolutely. We try to put information about events, runaways, anonymous tips,
senior alerts.
Yes, scam alerts. Just information that people, again, funny things we want to put out there. We want to put out important information. We want to put out just different things that the community should know. So our Facebook page is the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office. We also like to shout out our different jurisdictions. Not shout out per se, but if they have a crime that they're currently investigating and they're looking for someone, we like to share that from Fredericksburg City, Stafford Sheriff's Office. We share that information on our Facebook page. So if they're looking for someone and they so happen, if someone, sees that suspect, they can give us a call.
Everybody comes together to help solve the crime.
Exactly. And it's all, it all comes down to me, the community working together. And
I don't want to talk out of school because the answer may be no, that's not the way to do it. But is that also a portal to communicate with the office if you DM and so forth right there through Facebook?
Yes, you can. If you have a question and if you feel like, if you rather just go ahead and want to ask via Facebook, you can send us a message through Facebook Messenger or also through Instagram, and we will be able to answer your question there for you. Now, since I am non-sworn, I am not a deputy, I can only give you but so much legal advice. So I might have to steer you in that direction to call the non-emergency line so a deputy can talk to you and give you that advice. But Margarida here definitely helps me out with any, questions that, I might have.
Have you ever had somebody call you guys and tell you something or text you something and you're just like, oh, they're angry with me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So when Heather does get a lot of these tips or not these tips, these messages, she's like, what does this mean? I answer for her or I help her answer it.
Yep.
And then there's another response. So that I'm going to tell you straight up that our residents need to know you need to do a legal advice. You need to call the sheriff's office.
Right.
And you need to contact them and say, can I have a legal advice with a deputy? A deputy will call you. They are like DCJS certified. They know the law. They know how to interpret everything. And they will break it down to you. And talking to Heather via Messenger and this other person we have on there as well, but talking to them via Messenger, you are getting the information from what is not valued when you talk to somebody in person or on the phone regarding to your issues.
True.
So it is so important that you contact and get a legal advice so you can go from there.
Yes, because I don't always have Margarida with me. I mean, I do have, I work with a office full of deputies, but sometimes I cannot answer that question. It is a legal question, so I have to ask them to call our non-emergency line so they can speak to a deputy, and
it can become personal with that person.
Exactly.
A deputy does, because every person needs to. That's the quality that Sheriff Harris has, that he wants the person to give them the information and for them to feel like they're the only ones there.
Yeah.
Y'all do that at a very high level.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
If anyone
Thank
listening
you.
right now that lives here in Spotsylvania County, by all means follow Facebook, get in touch with everybody that works there. If you have questions on anything that we just outline. And we've talked a lot of stuff so far.
Yeah.
We've covered scams,
stuff.
we got Triad, we got National Night Out, which
Yes.
is when again?
August 6th.
Tuesday, August 6th, at the Spotsylvania Town Center from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes.
We're so excited.
Yes,
We
yes.
hope for a cool day, but it's okay if it's a little warmer out there because we're going to have a great time.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's like fun.
Hidden in plain sight. We've covered a lot of stuff, but if you have any questions on this, certainly reach out. You can find them, of course, on the website through social, or like you said, Margarita, you can call directly.
You know what? If you're not getting that kind of work, if a deputy didn't give you an answer that you don't feel was just right, contact me. Contact me. You can call me on my cell phone, not my cell phone, my work phone. It's going to be difficult for me to answer that. However, I'll give you my email so that, email me. Just email me and say, hey, I had this happen, blah, 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 blah. And I need some assistance because I didn't get my questions answered. And then we can go from there. But you've got to give us the opportunity to fix something.
Yes.
It's a relationship with somebody you don't know and not understanding of the law, and we're trying to build that bridge that we can speak the same language together.
The idea of calling a deputy, calling any kind of law enforcement official, it's like you get a little nervous. You're like,
Yes.
how am I going to be handled? Is this going to be what we see on TV?
Yeah,
and
are
stuff?
they going to look into me now if I have
Right.
anything? Yeah.
And when
Right.
I first started with the sheriff's office, again, I'm non-sworn. I'm coming in, and I am a civilian. I was intimidated.
Right.
I'm with all these deputies,
Sure.
and they're just like us.
Yeah.
They're
100%.
my best
Yeah.
friends. Margarita and I we are the bestest friends.
Yeah.
Yes, you can tell. You guys
Yes,
seem like you vibe.
Yes.
We do. You know what's crazy is that we walked in here and Steve and I just clicked on a conversation because we're humans, okay?
Yeah.
We're
Right.
total humans.
That's
and
right.
we found something that was in common like that,
Yep.
and we were just talking. And I didn't even meet Grace for a while because
I know.
We completely ignored you, Grace.
I completely ignored you.
But
Yeah,
it is true.
it's-
Y'all are you're human beings first, and,
Yes.
and I can say I've had a lot of dealings with Spotsy Sheriff's Department over the years, and everyone is so kind, and that y'all really want to help. And that's what it's all about. And we
Absolutely.
appreciate everything
Yes.
you do. Margarita from Spotsylvania Sheriff's Department and Heather, the social media manager, we can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Yes,
I know we
thank
unpacked a
you.
lot of info. We dropped a lot of knowledge in here today. And if you have any questions, reach out to Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office and get those answers. And thank you for everything you do.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
For
This is
having us
awesome.
and giving us this opportunity. And we
Yes.
appreciate it on behalf of the Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
you.
Thank you.